Although most manufacturers and buyers are focusing on larger TVs, there's still a lot of interest in smaller models. You likely won't find the most advanced, high-end options in these sizes, but there are still some very good TVs to choose from. Despite its modest, mostly plastic exterior, the V-Series has a lot going for it in terms of design. Some of the models use HDMI 2.1 and full array lighting. These are specs you'd find on much costlier screens, so to get them on any budget model is somewhat miraculous. Speaking of ports, Vizio is offering 3 HDMI ports, one of which is eARC enabled, and has composite inputs as well. For audio output, you've got a standard analog audio output as well as a digital audio output plus one USB 2.0 port. The IR remote, while nicely laid out with hotkeys for several key streaming services, is IR based. What that means is that you won't be able to use it as a voice remote, making searching for shows just a tad harder than it should be, and you'll need line of sight to the bottom of the TV, which means you'll need to be careful about soundbar placement. At this price, it's probably unsurprising that the TU8000's design is made up primarily of black plastic, across its back panel, bezels and stand. It still manages to feel well built despite this, with some reassuring heft when getting it out of the box, and minimal bezels ensuring the set still looks stylish, plastic and all. However, it's worth noting that one of the HDMI ports will become unusable in this position due to being rear-facing, which is a shame considering what's there is already a fairly stingy offering. We're used to having 4 HDMIs to choose from, even at this price, but the TU8000 only has 3. That means even a fairly humble setup of a set-top box, Blu-ray player and games console will use up those parts from the off, with one lost if the set is wall-mounted. Other ports include 2 USBs, a composite video in, an RF antenna input for terrestrial tele, C slot and an Ethernet port for when Wi-Fi won't cut it. There's also an optical output for pushing the audio to a soundbar. The best 43-inch TV in the budget category that we've tested is the LG 43UN 7300 Puff. It's a simple, entry-level model that doesn't deliver the same performance as higher-end, more expensive options, but most people should be happy with it. However, there are variants with a VA panel, providing a deeper contrast at the cost of its viewing angles, and it isn't clear which sizes are sold with which panel, so your experience may vary. It has really low input lag for gaming and decent response time, but due to its 120 Hz flicker, you may notice image duplication with fast-moving content. The built-in LG Web OS is easy to use, there's a great selection of apps available to download, and it comes with LG's Magic Remote that's usually found on higher-end models. Unfortunately, it doesn't get very bright and doesn't display a wide color gamut for HDR content, so it doesn't look all that different from SDR content. Even though it doesn't get very bright, it has excellent reflection handling if you need to place it in a well-lit room. Also, it upscales lower resolution content well, so content from DVDs or Blu-ray players looks great. It's the only model in Sony's 2020 lineup with an IPS LED panel, which provides wide viewing angles and is ideal for a wide seating arrangement. It's a fairly well-built model and has a great design that looks nice in any setting. It's a good choice to use in well-lit environments because it gets bright enough to combat glare and has decent reflection handling. It has excellent out-of-the-box color accuracy, and even though it may vary between units, Sony TVs are known for their good color accuracy. It upscales lower resolution content without any issues and removes judder from native 24p sources, such as Blu-ray players. It's good for gaming because of its good response time and incredibly low input lag, but it's limited to a 60 Hz panel and doesn't support any variable refresh rate technologies. It displays a wide color gamut for HDR content and has okay peak brightness in that mode, but it's not enough to make some highlights pop. Sadly, it has a low contrast ratio, so blacks appear closer to gray when viewed in the dark. The built-in Android TV interface isn't the easiest to learn, but it offers smooth navigation and a ton of apps available to download. The best 43-inch TV we've tested is the Samsung QN43Q60 Taxa. It's the entry-level option in Samsung's QLED lineup and delivers good picture quality that performs best in dark rooms. It has a nice design and is fairly well built. It has a VA panel that provides an outstanding contrast ratio and remarkable black uniformity, making it an ideal choice for watching movies in dark rooms. Even if you want to use it in a bright room, it has great peak brightness that combats glare, and the reflection handling is decent. Its out-of-the-box color accuracy is impressive, which is a nice touch for a budget model, and it displays a wide color gamut for HDR content. Its HDR peak brightness isn't bad and may be good enough for HDR games, but it doesn't get bright enough to truly bring out highlights in HDR movies. Unfortunately, it lacks a local dimming feature and has narrow viewing angles, which is expected from a VA panel. The response time is slow, so you may notice image duplication with fast-moving content. It doesn't have VRR support for gaming, but the input lag is incredibly low. Lastly, it displays Chroma 4 to 4:4 if you want to use it as a PC monitor.